Are you trying to sell your house and you're wondering if open houses are beneficial? Today I'm going to walk you through what I do on my open houses and why I feel like they are so beneficial to you as the seller. So my first steps for an open house happen about a week prior to the actual open house. I'm going to make sure that I market it out to as many people as possible, whether that be to realtors or on Facebook pages, on Craigslist, everywhere. I'm also going to put it in my MLS to make sure that it blasts out to things like Zillow and Redfin and all those sites that people go to check where the open houses are that weekend. One of the next key things that I do is signage. Make sure that signs are at all the major intersections so people know where they're going. When I pull up to my open house, I want to make sure that I do not park directly in front of the house, but give it some space so that those coming in can have a place to park. I make sure that I am here with plenty of time to set up, get lights turned on if I need to, or whatever it is. But when I arrive, I unlock the door and go on inside and get things set up, ready for people to come through. You might need to go through the house and make sure that everything is picked up. There might be some last minute cleaning or tucking things away, whether they've left backpacks out, toys for kids, or some dog items. Usually I like to tuck those away. If there's any dishes in the sink, I'll quickly put them in the dishwasher or whatever needs to be done, but I want the house to be looking perfect. I want to make sure that all the lights are on throughout the house. So I will go through the house, checking every single room to make sure that things are picked up, lights are on, and we're ready to roll. I also want to check the bathrooms to make sure that the toilet seats are closed, but that the lights are on, the door is open, and everything is wiped down and looks nice. When I go and check around the house, one of the things I like to look for in the bathroom is to make sure that the counters are wiped and that the shower is looking clean. After I make sure all the lights are on in the house, I then like to come into a common area, usually the kitchen, and that's where I like to set up all of my goodies. Next, when it comes to my setup, I like to usually go in the kitchen, somewhere that everybody tends to come and spend a lot of time. So I'll come into the kitchen and I'll make my little setup ready to go. When you walk in, you're going to come to where I have everything set up. Usually I like to get some fresh flowers, and then I have a couple things that I always bring. With my sign-ups, sometimes I'll do paper, sometimes I do electronic. People usually like to sign in either electronically or on paper. I just kind of switch it up every now and then and do electronic and then paper. Next, I always have water and treats. Every so often I won't do the treats because guess who ends up eating them? Me. I end up eating them. So I've started to not bring treats to open houses anymore. And moving on, I like to have everything set up on the counter. I will always make sure that I have actual paper handouts that people can take with them because they always want to make sure that they are taking the information of the house so that they can check it back later. I will always have a binder, and the binder will have all the information of the property. So there's lots of different things it can have, not only just the listing itself with pictures, but I'll also add schools, restaurants, and the way they're rated. Then I'll put in things like the survey, the seller's disclosure, and then anything else that I find that is important to selling the house or selling points to the house itself. When someone is coming into my open house, I will always greet them at the door, introduce myself, get their name, and shake their hand, welcome them in. I will direct them into wherever I have my sign-in available, and I will make sure that they sign in. So not only for my purposes, but for my sellers. My sellers always like to know how many people came through the open house and potentially what their names were. So they may know them, they may not, but I like to have them sign in always. As the seller, you might be asking yourself if going through all the pain and hassle of getting an open house done every Saturday or Sunday is worth it. And I am here to tell you that yes, it is. Some realtors don't do it. I always do it. Every single weekend that my houses are up for sale, I hold an open house. And just yesterday, I closed on a home where the buyers were the very first people that came through on an open house. It works. Make sure you're getting as many people through your house as you can. You want to make sure that you are getting as much exposure on your home as you can. And make sure your realtor's on board with that, because trust me, they work. Thanks for watching. Now go get your house ready for an open house.